Hey everyone, it's Dave here. So welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, one of the focuses of this channel, besides talking about cars, is focusing on the ownership of my 2022 Audi S4 in its very lovely blue, and kind of like the maintenance and the costs of ownership and what it's like living with the car. Tips and tricks like changing the oil, rotating the tires, spark plugs, various amounts of DIY. I just had my 10,000 mile service done by Audi, which is interesting because I just mentioned DIY oil changes and I just had Audi do my oil change. But I'll get into that more. So I thought it'd be a good time to discuss that. So, this is my 2022 Audi S4 and it was purchased this year by myself as a certified pre-owned car in about February 18, 2023. So a little over 5 months ago. So I purchased the car certified pre-owned, and I'll do a separate video on the finances of the car and some of the costs. But really this video I want to focus on kind of just the service. So what does certified pre-owned mean for Audi? It's a little bit confusing, but essentially you have to, one, be able to understand the original vehicle in service date. What that usually means is when the vehicle was reported as purchased to the local DMV. I believe my car was purchased in Pennsylvania and it was reported on January 24th, 2023 as the vehicle in service date. And Carfax is useful because it'll tell you, hey, you have original X amount of months and miles on the factory warranty remaining, and that is based off the estimated in-service date reported to Carfax, which is typically the date of purchase reported to. That's helpful because that's when you can determine the warranty period. Now remember, warranty does not cover maintenance items, so oil changes, brakes, tires, etc., fluids. So with the Audi certification warranty, essentially what that does is after the original warranty expires, which is 4 years from an original in-service date, or 50,000 miles, whatever comes first. Then the Audi certification warranty takes over, which is an additional 2 years on top of that, and additional 50,000 miles. So what does that mean? Well, when you're shopping for a car, you definitely want to know that original in-service date, whether it's certified pre-owned or not, and maybe some original warranty remaining. It just gives you a better sense of how much you're paying for in terms of factory coverage. So for my car, since it was in service in January 24th, 2022, that means I have, if you can do the math, about 6 years of coverage or 100,000 miles from that date, whichever occurs first. So in January of 2020, math in my head, 8, which is about less than 5 years from now, my warranty will expire completely. Or if I hit 100,000 miles. Now, I believe there are some differences between what's covered under the factory warranty and what's covered under the certified pre-owned warranty. I don't put it up on the screen. So going back to the 10,000 mile service, I did the 10,000 mile service because it was free. And the reason I did it was free is because when I purchased a car certified pre-owned and I financed through Audi, I got 2 additional free Audi Care service appointments. Now, when I called up Audi to verify that I had the coverage, and again, all I had to do was call up a dealership, speak to the service department, and present them my VIN, they told me you have 4 Audi Care coverages for the 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 mile services. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. And they said, yep, these last until about March of 2025. So yes, I completed the 10,000 service free. And really, it only consists of, I believe, an oil change, a multi-point inspection. So obviously the 10,000 mile service was not a very fruitful service. When I went to my local Audi dealership's website and I plugged in the services for the mileage, and I was able to find the oil change, it was almost about $200 to $300 what I was seeing. I think $273 is what they were quoting. And that probably includes parts and labor. And that's a lot of money just for an oil change. So I completed an oil change on my car myself, which was actually the first car's oil I'd ever changed. So I was very proud of myself. And yeah, so I purchased all the equipment and I did it about 9,200 miles, so about 1,200 miles after I purchased it. Because when I looked at the Carfax, they had done an oil change at about 4,000-ish. And everyone and their mother recommends on these Audi S models, and really honestly any car, to do oil changes about every 5,000 miles. Rather than 10,000, which is what Audi recommends, and that's ridiculous. There's a couple of other items that Audi doesn't recommend to do service on. But anyways, so I was like, let me do my own oil change, let me learn it, and give myself the comfort that within 10,000 miles when I hit it, I'd have 2 oil changes under the belt. There's so many factors to why I think you should do an oil change more often than 10,000. It's mostly because why would you risk your engine blowing up because you stretched out your oil change a little bit more? And there's just a lot of factors, including city driving, sporty driving, highway driving. You should be changing your oil more if you're doing spirited driving as well as city driving, because it's just a lot more work on the engine than highway driving. But the oil change I did myself without the cost of all the materials, the one-time material cost, was about $100 worth of oil. So the oil is definitely expensive for an Audi, but that's $100. I could do it anytime I want. I could do it in my own space whenever I want. It took me 15 to 20 minutes for the first time, so there'd definitely be a quicker way to do it. And the hardest part was waiting for all the oil to be drained out of using the oil extractor through the dipstick. So I'm redoing a video on the oil change, but I figured I'd give you guys an update on the 10,000 mile service. In addition to the oil change at 9,200 in my local maintenance handbook, I'm going to put in the 10,000 mile oil change, so I have a good record, but also the Carfax is going to have a good record because the dealership's going to put in that service. And I just think it's really important to close this video off with that. If you're going to own something, a car, a house, or a boat, something that requires tender loving care, TLC, wouldn't it just make more sense to learn how to do it rather than paying somebody else to do some of the basic things? To wrap up this video, I think it's important that you learn to do your own oil changes and some of the preventative maintenance, because it just goes a long way for the cost of ownership. For me personally, I enjoy doing service because I am an engineer and I like to solve problems, and solving problems includes preventative maintenance. So if you guys like this video, please give it a like. It'll push it out to a wider YouTube audience. And yeah,